Hello world, my name is Lydia. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today, and before I get started, I really just want to apologize for the lack of videos lately. I've been kind of 2 or 3 patches behind in Paladins, I think. I've had a lot of kind of real life things going on. I've had a lot of freelance work that I've been catching up on, which is really great. I also just got engaged, so I'm planning a wedding, so I've had a lot going on. I really apologize for the lack of videos, but I'm really looking forward to digging back into Paladins and hopefully be bringing a lot of newer content to the channel pretty soon. That being said, we're obviously going to be talking about OB51, the latest patch to come to Paladins. They had the preview show yesterday, which was Friday, and all of this is now live on the PTS server and should be live on the actual live server in the next couple days, probably Monday or Tuesday, depending. So let's go over the patch notes. So right off the bat, we obviously have a new champion to enter the realm. Hi-Rez has been really good at releasing champions every other week, every 2 weeks or so, like they said they would have. And the latest to come to the realm is Ashe the War Machine. She is a frontliner, and the best way that I can show you her abilities is to just use them. So her left click is Burst Cannon. It fires a shrapnel round every 0.9 seconds that explodes in an AoE, dealing 400 damage. Pretty self-explanatory. You can kind of compare it to Drogo's ability, I guess you could say. Her right click is Kinetic Burst, and what it does is it basically heats your next shrapnel, and when you fire it, the round instantly explodes in a frontal cone instead of a round AoE, and it deals 300 damage and applies a knockback. I know it says area damage, but when it fires into that cone, it's more of a direct line damage as opposed to an AoE. Next, her Q, because she's a frontliner, it's obviously probably going to be a shield, is Siege Shield. Now what this does is it deploys a 5,000 health shield that advances forward and lasts 6 seconds. Now what you need to point out about that is that it advances forward. So when you set it down, it doesn't just stay in one place that people can move around, or it doesn't move around with you like Makoa's shield or something like that. This actually, once you set it down, it actually slowly starts to move. So you can set it down in one spot, maybe in a tight cramped area to try to get away from ganks or flanks or anything like that. And it moves while you move around it. Now, I'm sure in some of her legendary cards and other cards, you're going to be able to combine those cards with some of her abilities that will make it advance slower, advance faster. You know, there's going to be a bunch of different combinations you can use to help using her Siege Shield. Next is her F, which is Shoulder Bash. Now, as opposed to her left and her right click, this is a direct damage. So what this does is it hurdles you forward, hitting an enemy that deals 800 damage and applies a knockback. Now, the knockback is insanely strong. I think it pushes you something like 70 or 80 feet or something comparative to the maps. So imagine the combination of using Shoulder Bash, then Kinetic Burst, then Burst Cannon. That's pretty much an instant kill right there alone. Now, her ultimate ability is Assert Domination, and of course, again, it's another area damage. What happens is you leap forward and plant your banner in the ground. She has a banner on her back, in case you haven't seen the images of her, dealing 350 damage on impact, which is not really that strong, but it's good for a kind of direct initial engage damage. And it creates a damage immune zone for you that lasts 8 seconds. So what it does is it creates this AoE around you, and you're completely immune to damage for 8 entire seconds. I want to say that the dev said that is actually not immune to CC, which is understandable. You can't be immune to everything, but you must remain in that zone to receive the immunity. So imagine being right on the cusp of capturing a checkpoint or capturing a payload, and you just jump into the fight with Assert Dominance, you know, drop your shield, drop Kinetic Burst and Burst Cannon. I mean, it's pretty much going to guarantee you the point.
Let's fight!
So let's try some of these. I accidentally just hit my ultimate ability, but as you can see, there's her banner, and here's kind of the AoE range that keeps you immune for 8 seconds. So next, if we do Burst Cannon, you can see that it's really simple. Now when you shoot it, you can see that when it explodes, it even explodes in the air, so it doesn't wait to hit something. It will automatically explode after it reaches the extent that it can. So putting it right here, it's obviously going to deal a portion of the damage. You know, that was 243 and 147 right there, and it deals 400 damage. So then if you do it on direct impact, there's 400 right there. But if you see, it does 400 direct damage on Ying, and then it does 280 damage on Sky too. So that AoE range is so huge to use. Alright, so next if we try the kinetic burst with the burst cannon, it's going to kind of charge it up, do the frontal cone, and do a knockback. If we do it on Sky, there we go. And not only did it do it on Sky, but it also did it with Ying as well. So that AoE cone, it's going to be more direct as opposed to, it's not going to be so much of a wide AoE, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. So this is a really good place to try Shoulder Bash. It just throttles you kind of towards an enemy and it deals 800 damage. That is really strong compared to how squishy some of the champions are in the game. So for your weak flankers, that's going to be a really strong hit, especially with the knockback because you're going to be knocking them off guard. So if we try that here with Sky, say for example, boom, just like that. And being able to hit them in the air too. That's perfect, right? And boom, there's your kill. So then, like I said earlier, if you try the shoulder bash with the kinetic burst with the burst cannon, I'm going to try it. I haven't tried it before, and it's probably not going to work, but let's see. We do F. Nope, I missed. You get the picture. If you have the... If you use the shoulder bash with the kinetic burst and the burst cannon, you're pretty much going to guarantee at least one knockback, and if you can aim it right, you can hit them mid-air. So next we can try the siege shield. So what this does is it basically just deploys this little shield right here that moves, and you can move around it obviously. And there, that's pretty much all it is. Like I said, I'm sure there's going to be some cards that you can use to change the length of it or the health of it or whatever, but that's going to be really useful, especially in team fights when you're trying to capture points. Alright, so lastly we'll come to the Cassie bots, and I'll actually use the ultimate ability correctly now. So she jumps up, she lays that banner down, she did a little bit of damage, but she is completely immune. She will not take direct damage while she is in that kind of AoE area. So there you have it. That is Ashe. She is the newest champion to enter Paladins on OB51. I personally really like her. I think she's really fun to play. I'm interested to see how she's going to end up in the meta, especially with the console wars coming and DreamHack Valencia. I think it's going to be really cool to see how she fits in. I mean, imagine having something like Ashe and Torvald and Fernando having like a triple tank meta in a match. It's gonna be really dirty, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. Alright, so if we get back to the patch notes, that was Ashe. As you guys know, I'm not really going to go over her cards. That's just a lot to get into. Most of the cards are really similar from champion to champion. If you're interested in looking at, I will have a link to these patch notes down below in the description. You're more than welcome to check those out. So let's get into everything else that's coming with OB51. One major change that they are bringing is champion skins and how they are organizing the way that they do skin cosmetics. If you've seen any of my videos, you probably know that my biggest beef with Paladins is the skin cosmetics. I think they're very lackluster, and I'm really not a fan of the system of how to get them, but they are fixing them. They're moving in what I personally think is a better direction, starting with this patch. So up until now, what you would get in chests is you would get separate body part skins. A head, a body, a voice pack, a color combination, accessories, stuff like that. And they really kind of felt very lackluster. Like, I would be able to spend way too much to just get, you know, Kness's hair to look different, or, you know, Maeve's hair clip to look, you know, a separate color or something like that. It felt like it was a lot of work for very little reward. So you can still kind of like mix and match how you want your heads and your bodies and everything like that. But the way that you actually get them is in like a complete pack now, known as the champion skin. So the champion skin includes the accessory, the body, and the voice pack. So if you guys remember, in the last patch they talked about removing the colossal chest, and a lot of people had questions about how that was going to affect getting skins and getting weapon skins in the future. So what they're going to have is they're going to have a champion skins chest, and they're going to have a weapon skins chest. And in the champion skins chest, you're going to get one item that has the whole set. So you're no longer going to be rolling and just getting a head, or rolling and just getting an accessory, or rolling and just getting the feet or the hands, or so on and so forth. When you roll something and you receive it, you're going to get one item, and that is going to be the one skin for you. And then they're going to have a separate one for the weapon skins too. So the champion skins is not going to include the weapon skins. Those will be in a separate chest. One great thing about this that I really like is they said in the preview show that some of these in the champion skins could include exclusive skins from the past. So some of the skins that have been exclusive to promotional things or something like that that you see on the game that aren't purchasable, they will now be included in the champion skins chests. Another addition is to the Radiant chests. So when you open a Radiant chest, you'll have the option to receive a non-duplicate item. So what happens now is if you get something that's duplicate, whether it's a card or a skin, you'll get it traded for essence. But now you can choose to receive a non-duplicate skin, meaning something that you don't already have right off the bat. So you won't be getting duplicates that get back essence. So say you have, you know, almost all the skins in the game, but you're missing, you know, 2 or 3 that you're really trying to pull for. Now you can choose to get a non-duplicate, so there's a better chance that you'll get something that you don't already have. A lot of the other additions are with the match lobby UI. You've probably seen in the past maybe 3 or 4 matches, they've kind of been slowly changing what the UI looks like. This is another change with it. You'll be able to see all team members' champions models. Now they'll show on the pedestals like when you load the game. Some customizations added. Obviously, you'll have the stuff for Ashe. Just about every patch, they've been releasing newer and newer skins, which of course is what I love. So the skins that they release, so the skins that are coming to OB51, I believe I took a screen capture. Oh yeah. So here's Barracks, Stone Barrack. This one looks really cool because it makes him kind of look like Father Time, if you say, but he's like super ripped. Another one is really cute. We've got Pandemonium Pip over here. Notice the additions on his tail. And we also have a new mount that's coming. I called it the Scarlet Charger. Is that what they called it? Yeah, it is called the Scarlet Charger. Okay, I was thinking that I called it something else. But we've got the Scarlet Charger that's being added. Mounts are something that they really haven't focused on really that much. I mean, there's really only a handful of mounts in the game right now, so them adding this is really cool. The other great thing about the Scarlet Charger is you can directly purchase it, so you don't have to roll it in a chest or it's not a promotional thing. You can actually directly purchase it. One really cool thing they added was mastery level customizations. So once you reach certain levels in the game, level 5 you get a mastery MVP pose, level 8 you get an emote, level 10 you get a skin, and level 12 you get a master spray, and level 15 you get a cosmic mastery skin. So it's kind of rewarding you for each sort of level progression for your specific champion. They're really cool. I definitely suggest checking them out, especially the cosmic mastery skins. Those are really, really cool to look out, and I want to now get all of my champions to level 15 purely for that skin. Alright, so let's move on to the balance changes. There really actually aren't a whole lot, thankfully. First of all, we have Androxus increases the recharge rate of his dashes by 1 second. Androxus' mobility is basically what makes him unique from all other champions. So increasing the recharge rate is kind of just holding him back a little bit so he's not a little bit too strong. You can be a little more careful in your playstyle now. With Drogos, his booster gets a reduced recharge rate by 17%. So this is really going to avoid someone being able to use his booster, hit the ground, then immediately be able to use it again. It's just making him a little more balanced so you don't kind of abuse that ability. Inara's Earthen Guard, they're now increasing the healing taken by 60%. So Inara is a really interesting frontliner because she's not purely a frontliner. She's also kind of I don't want to call her support, but she's like a utility frontliner, I guess you can say, with her wall and her shield and everything. So using Earthen Guard, increasing the healing taken by 60%, that kind of makes her more useful for that utility aspect. Also with her stone spear, firing it now applies a 40% movement speed slow to Inara. So as you see with a lot of champions, once you're using the ability, their movement speed is obviously slowed a little bit. That really wasn't the case for Inara. You were able to move around a lot while still using stone spear. So being able to slow her down while she's dealing a lot of damage is really just balancing her out. Willow was the latest champion to be added, so naturally she's going to get some changes. She was added, I think, 1 or 2 patches ago. She gets her health increase from 2,000 to 2,200. I've kind of seen this actually really common with new champions. Usually the first or the second patch after that they've been released, usually their health pool is increased a little bit. Usually the devs kind of think that maybe they should be holding on kind of a little bit stronger than they are. Maybe they're a little too squishy. Maybe they're a little too weak than they intended them to be. So upping her health pool by 200, it's really not that big of a deal, but it's going to make her a little more viable when she goes into a fight. A really cool addition is with Fey Flight. The weapon shots fired while using Fey Flight no longer consume ammo. That's actually a really cool addition. That's going to help a lot when you're in flight and you're actually firing, because imagine you use flight and then you actually can't fire because you're too worried about reloading. So that's going to be a really helpful ability. Say that you haven't reloaded and you use Fey Flight, you won't necessarily need to once you use it to actually make shots. Alright guys, so that's going to about do it for this patch review of OB51. I hope you liked this video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I'm really hoping to have a lot of new content out to you guys soon. Some stuff about Paladins, maybe some stuff about some other games. We'll have to see. I really appreciate you guys clicking on this video, and we'll see you next time.